Hey everyone, today we're breaking down a major cybersecurity threat that's been flying under the radar. I've got the full report right here from our amazing analysts, and what they've uncovered is pretty alarming. We're talking about ShadowSilk, a sophisticated hacking group that's been targeting governments across Central Asia and beyond. Let's get into it. So who exactly is ShadowSilk? They are an advanced persistent threat group that's been active since at least 2023. Initially, we thought they were connected to another group called Yarrow Trooper, but as our investigations deepened, it became clear that ShadowSilk was indeed its own operation, and a pretty sophisticated one at that. What makes them interesting is that they consist of two subgroups and have Chinese and Russian-speaking operators. We're talking about cross-border collaboration here. The Russian-speaking members seem to focus on malware development and initial access, while the Chinese-speaking operators handle network penetration and reconnaissance. The goal is simple but dangerous: data exfiltration. ShadowSilk isn't interested in ransomware or causing chaos. They want information. Government documents, internal communications, sensitive files. That's what they're stealing. We've identified over 35 victims, primarily government organizations in countries like Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Pakistan, and Myanmar. And as recently as July 2025. This isn't a historical threat, it's happening right now. Now, let me show you what's in here about their tactics. ShadowSilk uses a pretty clever approach to stay hidden. Instead of traditional command and control servers, they use Telegram bots. Yes, the messaging app. They send phishing emails with password-protected archives. Once a victim opens the file and runs the executable inside, their computer gets infected with malware that communicates through Telegram. To anybody monitoring the traffic, it just looks like someone is using a messaging app. And in the report, we talk about exactly how this allows attackers to bypass traditional monitoring tools and speeds up the execution of attack operations. Pretty smart actually, and that's what makes them dangerous. But they don't stop there. They also use legitimate pen testing tools like Cobalt Strike, Metasploit, along with Chinese hacking tools like Godzilla Web Shell and Behinder. They even bought control panels from dark web forums to manage computers. Let's talk about the Russian connection. When our researchers analyzed the attacker's servers, they found evidence of Russian-speaking operators. In the report, we go into how they found typos where commands were accidentally typed using a Russian keyboard layout. They also discovered test infections on the attacker's own machines, showing that they were actively developing and testing their malware before deploying it. This level of operational security and testing shows that we're dealing with professionals, not script kiddies. But then there's the Chinese angle. As you can see, our researchers found screenshots from the attackers' workstations that had Chinese language settings, were browsing Chinese websites, and using Chinese hacking tools. One screenshot showed an attacker looking at a government website from Kyrgyzstan with automatic translation to Chinese enabled. And we've noted that the environment, such as visited pages, active keyboard layout, and automatic translation of websites, indicates that the device likely belongs to Chinese-speaking operators. Let's talk about what actually happens when they breach a system. Once they're inside the network, they deploy sophisticated data collection scripts. One PowerShell script they use searches all drives for documents, spreadsheets, PDFs, and text files, creates a zip archive, and then uploads it to their server. Then it deletes all traces. And this code is designed to run automatically and steal files modified within a specific time frame, meaning they're constantly harvesting fresh data. They're also stealing browser passwords, taking screenshots, recording from webcams and microphones, and dumping credentials from memory. It's a pretty comprehensive surveillance. Now here's something that really caught my attention. At some point, a fraction of data known to be in ShadowSilk's possession appeared for sale on one of the dark web forums. So not only are they stealing government data for espionage, but some of it is ending up for sale on the dark web. Now, whether this was done by the group itself or by a rogue member, it shows that the data they're stealing has real-world value and consequences. Alright, so what can organizations do about this? We have several recommendations, all included inside the report. First up is to implement strong email protection to catch those phishing attempts before they reach end users. Secondly, monitor for suspicious PowerShell commands and unusual network behavior, especially connections to Telegram's API. Third, keep systems patched. ShadowSilk will take advantage of known vulnerabilities. And lastly, perform proactive threat hunting. These attackers are good at staying hidden, so waiting for automated alerts probably isn't enough. You need skilled analysts actively looking for signs of compromise. ShadowSilk represents a new breed of cyber threat, cross-border collaboration with sophisticated techniques and a focus on long-term espionage rather than quick hits. The fact that they're still doing this as of July 2025, despite being partially exposed back in January, shows that they're adaptable and persistent. If you work in government or critical infrastructure in Central Asia or the broader Asia-Pacific region, this report should be required reading. I'll drop a link to the full report in the description. So what do you think about these cross-border hacking collaborations? Let me know in the comments. And if you found this breakdown helpful, hit that subscribe button. I'll be covering cybersecurity threats like this regularly. Thanks for watching and stay safe.